Yeah, Merle is holding the point alone right now. Moon is nearby. Paladin Lamb break almost ready, but they need someone to point right now.
Welcome everybody to MogTalk. If you guys are unfamiliar with MogTalk, it's a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage Raiding to Chocobo Racing. And today we are going to be talking about PvP and competitive PvP in Final Fantasy XIV, more like the highest end PvP that we currently have in the game. Some might think that's actually Chocobo Racing, but it's not. There's a mode called Crystalline Conflict that people can play. that I think most people play for competitive environments in this game. Today is Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. This is episode 314. And I have on with me two of the members from Dubstep Nation, which won the Crystalline Conflict Community Cup that Square Enix put on officially on their end. Before we go too much more into it, I'll have our guests introduce themselves. Buzzy, do you want to go first?
Oh yeah, dude. What's up? I'm Buzzy the Bear Wuzzy, formerly Verkins, formerly Comp 1, formerly H2O, formerly Thousand Blossoms, and finally, currently, in Dubstep Nation, baby. Let's go.
Yo, all right. What jobs do you normally play? What roles do you normally play in PvP?
Historically, I've been a melee player. I started out as a monk player and moved towards warrior during the end of what was the last XP? Endwalker, right? But recently I've been playing a lot of white mage. White mage has been like my BNB.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've
Bread
been
and
playing
butter.
a lot of jobs.
For
Yeah.
those who didn't understand and get that reference, sometimes
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. Okay. Jay, you wanna go next?
Yeah, for sure. It's Jay Vermillion, been playing since the start of CC. Solo queue is kind of my bread and butter. I play a lot of Monk, and I play melee for Dubstep Nation. Shout out, Buzzy. Insane
out.
name.
Let's
Insane.
go, dude.
That was crazy.
What?
Buzzy, yeah.
They did not know what the name was gonna be until the bracket was released.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I kind of like put that as a little Christmas surprise, I guess.
Nice. All right. Well, today, again, we're going to be talking about the Crystalline Conflict Community Cup, which, of course, I did commentary for, and it was a great, fun event for me. I had a lot of fun watching it, but we're also going to just talk about PvP in general and take just a moment there to kind of go into some of the more particulars of the state of PvP in Final Fantasy XIV. So, I'd like to go ahead and just ask you guys real quick, this is the first, official Square Enix event, I guess, since FanFest. Right, for NA.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? Jumping in there and winning that after so long of not having an official event.
For me, it's more like one of those finally type things because I just wanted to win an official event. But at least for now, it's gotten to the point where we're just looking at what's next for the future of tournaments. We usually go to every community tournament, and so this one kind of was just the same as the other tournaments, just slapped on with Square Enix prizes and stuff. So.
Yeah, unironically, it did. At least for us, it kind of felt like, or for me, it felt like another day in the office. Right? It was just like it's another tournament. Nothing changes. Nothing really changed as far as I guess. I don't know, community, because it's still the same people we've been playing against for the past 2 to 3 years. It's just now we get prizes.
Yeah, and game prizes too. Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
You gotta get those earrings for sure.
Yeah, dude, get my earrings and my Gaily cap. Let's go.
Insane.
It's true. But all right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what events will lead to with Square Enix. It's always I'm waiting for them to just ramp it up and just make it way crazier, because it does feel like going from the Community Cup to going to an on-stage event is a drastic jump. It's pretty huge. I wish there was a little bit more in the middle between there leading up to it. Because it like there's nothing like when you're playing remotely online, it's a completely different vibe than when you're on stage. And you're dealing with all those nerves and everything else. Did you guys have, well, I mean, you guys said it was like another day in the office, so you didn't have any nerves at all going into this, like people watching or anything else, it being a huge deal to win it?
Me personally, I can't say I had too many nerves. I
Okay.
mean, I have like a lot of tourney experience, so I mean, I know for a fact before, let's say when I was just starting out, like season 1, season 2, I had a lot of nerves where it's like, oh, if I mess up or, if I don't follow a call, if I don't do XYZ, then maybe I throw for the team. And just starting out, you're like, oh, I don't want to throw, I don't want to get booted off instantly or something like that. A lot of people are watching, but after a while, you kind of get used to it. And it helps that there's kind of the same set of people forever in this game.
Right.
Like nobody, right? It's just the same faces, so that doesn't get really too nerve wracking later on. I mean, there's definitely high tension where we would lock in during tournament. Our comms are a lot more firm, and we raise our voices and stuff. But that's just usually how every tournament goes. But it's not, at least for me personally, it's not too much of a big a deal anymore.
Okay.
Like another day in the office, and I think part of that routine includes that nervousness, right? At least for me
Oh, okay.
personally, I definitely was like nervous, but I was a lot more excited, right? I think, especially since like when I played in CCRC, had only been playing CC for like 4 months, right? So imagine just starting playing CC, and then 4 months in, you're just playing on stage, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the kind of environment I was brought up in, as
Mhm.
far as CC is concerned. So I don't really get too nervous, and if I do, I don't really let it affect my performance, right? It's just one of those things where it kind of makes me play better when there are stakes, knowing something's on the line, right?
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I was probably the most comfortable commentating during this event that I've ever been. It didn't feel like another day in the office to me. I was still a little stressed out because the PvP community can be kind of rough.
Oh,
To be
yo,
honest.
bro, you're telling us, man. You're telling us. Yeah,
Bro's like,
dude, you're
kinda.
telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So you deal with that stress of the backlash that will come about being in a public, and whether you do good or bad, just people are like sitting there like gonna nitpick everything that you do and just like bring that against you later after the event. But
Dude, this community is built upon like scrutiny, right? Like scrutinization and stuff. Like that's just how it is, for
yeah,
good or bad, right? That's just things of competitiveness.
I mean that's true. That's true. I mean, do you guys have a lot of experience outside of Final Fantasy 14 with competitive environments? I think Jay, you said you did.
I do. I
Okay.
did a lot of WoW Arena. I played StarCraft 2, and I played a lot of fighting games after that, like Blaze Blue, like Guilty Gear, and things of that sort.
So I guess a good question for you then is: do you feel like the Final Fantasy 14 community is unique in any way versus those communities?
Yes, but each community kind of has their own thing. Has their own problems, has their own negatives, positives. As far as Final Fantasy goes, it's not like the worst thing ever, but the community is a little bit weird, I guess, for lack of better words. So like you kind of have to you kind of have to just go with the flow with the Final Fantasy community. With other communities, you can you play the game, right? And the game speaks for itself. But unfortunately for this game, a lot more speaks other than gameplay. So it's just like, ooh.
This is such a small community, right? So like things get
So,
like
it is what it is.
magnified, or like just get magnified more than they would in other communities, I think.
That is true. I mean, it's a lot bigger than what it used to be. For sure. I feel like it has been growing. But I don't know, since the start of the expansion, if you guys feel like there's a little bit of a downturn, or if people are kind of picking it up with like the lull and a lot of other content in the game, if people are going to PvP, or if it just is stagnant, not really changing at all.
Why do you say that? Well, for me, I actually think the mid tier scene of like LP, like the light party is actually probably as healthy or the most healthy it's been, because I feel like a lot of these teams kind of got hands nowadays, right? And
Hmm.
because there's so many of them, I'm just like, dang, bro, future low key looking bright. Like there's teams like Eidolon, Chillin'
Oh
Time,
yeah.
Stooges.
Hmm.
Like I'm probably forgetting like a couple others, but like those are all good teams that have definitely gave us a run for our money. And if we're not like on top of our shit, or I don't know if I could say
It's
bad
okay. It's
words, but
fine. It's fine.
on
Yeah.
top of our shit, then yeah,
Yeah.
they're right. So it's kind
Yeah.
of nice being able to see that kind of growth after so many years of playing this game, right? This
Hmm.
community.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think. I mean, that's good for. It still needs a lot more, I think, from Square Enix to really grow. I don't. I feel like the community can only really do so much. I mean, massive shout outs to the community. I think the community is probably in a much better state than it was in the past too. A lot of people have been doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes, right? Unless if I'm wrong.
I mean, as far as I know, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, we can't play in tournaments if people don't host them. I'm not hosting them. That's
I
It's a pain in the ass,
heck
dude.
no,
I'm
heck
just
no.
saying. So like, if I'm gonna take these handouts and people hosting tournaments, like, I'm not my place to complain about it. I'm grateful for those who take the time to do it. So
Yeah, yeah. But okay, okay. So, I guess kind of talking about the event a little bit more, you guys getting into it. I know for other events, you probably practice a little bit too, but for this one, you guys said you went for like weeks of like scrimming to before you actually competed?
Months.
mhm.
Months?
2 months of straight scrimming, by the way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
As in like 7 days a week. Yeah,
Ooh.
once a day for 7 days a week for
Yeah, I'm
2 months
I'm
straight
getting
was our routine.
flashbacks.
Oh my God. And who were you scrimming against? Is it okay to say that? Is there like some
Oh yeah, no,
secret
yeah, yeah, yeah,
team or something?
yeah.
Okay.
I definitely wanted it. Like, I think if they did an interview during CSG, I was gonna shout them out anyways, because I'm like hella grateful to all those teams that were able to and even wanted to scrim us. Like, so like Eidolon, that's one team I
Hmm.
mentioned before. Chillin' Time as well.
Hmm.
Stooges, Mark Norchian hitters, and then I think you saw the game that we played, right? It was a prelims, but Little
Yep.
CCers, those were a big
Yeah.
team that gave us a run for our money. Big shouts to them and the other teams I mentioned, right?
Yeah.
But and Tomodachi, they also gave us weekly scrims as well. So yeah, like all those teams, hella grateful.
Okay. Okay. Most of those teams were ones that competed in the event too.
All of
So
them, yeah, all of
yeah.
them.
Mm.
Yeah.
So all of them were competing in the event. Okay. So it was sort of like just this collab between all of you to try to get some practice in and try to do a good show, I guess. I know some people are a little bit more reserved in that kind of fashion where they don't want to like give away their strategies or anything else by
Mm.
playing other teams. Do you feel like that was any concern?
Bruh.
I mean,
That,
hey.
that people tried that in the past. I personally think that the community is too small to be doing that kind of stuff. I think you unironically get a lot more growth
Mm.
by just like going at it, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't this game is too small and the game mode isn't that complex where you can win by just like hiding a comp or a strat, because most of the time they'll know what you're playing just off of the players alone, right? So it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I think
Okay.
ever since I joined DSI with like Original and Kamachi in them, I think
Mhm.
going forward, and then when I kind of stepped into the semi leadership to leadership role, I'm pretty sure I streamed every single game and I opened up all my strats to anybody who asked and gave odd reviews and broke down what they were doing and what we were doing and compared that and such, right? So, because I already know that the resources in this game are not they're
Well,
not really good, right? Like you have job guide and then
mhm.
nobody to explain LP to you pretty much. And if that doesn't happen, then you either kind of struggle in the dark or you have a fixed point and you find that and you start improving a lot faster with that. So
I
and it
mean,
helps us improve too as well.
there's always that kind of discussion too, is about how much explaining should you do, right, for a game, and how much do you just leave that to the community to figure out and deal with that on their own and put their own stuff out there and give like uh a field for content creation, right? So people can go
Um,
out there and say stuff and put their own advice out there without Square Enix explicitly telling you how to play it, right?
right.
Um, and so I feel like there's always like a good balance with that. Uh, the players, I think the intro into it needs to be improved. if that's kind of what you're leaning towards too. It's just the intro getting into Light Party and playing it, but then there is no foundation for Square Enix right now for it.
Yeah,
Outside of the PvP teams, which I don't think even do anything.
Dude, I
right
feel
now.
like those don't even apply anymore, man. Like, shoot, they didn't even use that back in Feast, right? Like, it's just.
I joined it for the cool name, so I could have it like under my profile, and then that's it. I don't think I've touched it since.
It was so cool back in the day. It would put like banners up of your logos and everything, and your names would show up on the screen. As long as the teams were, everybody was in the right team, right? So I feel like they did a lot of, they were starting to do some pretty cool stuff with it, but that kind of just fell to the wayside. I hope they do bring it back, because right now it's just like an extra thing that you can kind of throw people into, but never really use it.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say it's extra. It's kind of just there, right? Like, what do you even use PvP teams for other than maybe a little group chat?
Yeah,
that's what I use it for nowadays. That's
Yeah.
a little.
It actually is the group chat. Yeah, that's true.
That's it. It's just a group chat, man, or a leak shell or something. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what they do with it. We're not going to hear a lot more about PvP until maybe FanFest stuff comes out, right? I feel like there has been this rhythm. Like, maybe I'm going really far off the rails here, but it's always like, you know, the 4-man group or 5-man group Light Party scene and solo queue gets a lot of attention. Then everything else for next expansion gets a lot of attention. Then back to the other thing for the next expansion, right? It's just like a back and forth everyone, and we're on like the battlegrounds, the front lines kind of expansion, I think. And then maybe we'll move into a whole nother crazy Light Party solo queue kind of, I guess.
Like Teams queue, right? Is what you're referring to? Like,
yeah, Light Party teams, you know.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. It's like, well, I mean, the devs themselves, like SGP and a bunch of his interviews, said that they don't really like content stacking because they want to give you enough time to do the content that they release. Everybody finishes it and then a new content, right? So like they won't release PvP season on, or not season, but like a big PvP update rework on the same day as Savage or something, right? Like there's no way that's gonna happen.
I think they have done that before.
Have they?
Well, maybe not like right when Savage is released. I think there's like a delay, like a week or two or something, but nothing.
I mean, that's my point, right? Like they other games, like I've played WoW, they'll just, here's the expansion, here's literally everything, right? Like, and at least as far as FF goes, I mean, this kind of is the Frontlines patch, but I mean, in all fairness, they've been patching CC a lot recently, right? They're doing adjustments. I think they did more adjustments this like Dawn Trail season than they have like maybe 10 seasons of
Endwalker PvP.
Endwalker PvP, right? They've been adjusting a lot of stuff for this game, or for Dawn Trail stuff. So that's awesome. Nice. Outside of that, for competitive though, ladders, rewards, PvP teams, official tournaments, still in the dark. So we'll see how that goes in the future. I don't think any amount of other content will change the fact that they are probably not putting competitive in any form of light, because it's just not a competitive game in of itself. So
I mean, it could be, but there are some things that do have to change for it to like kind of grow on that, right?
Exactly.
And so I guess we just all kind of sit back and wait for that. But I mean, they will, no matter what. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they won't do PvP for this FanFest. Maybe they will. It'd suck if they left PvP out of this FanFest.
I mean, they probably will. Surely, like it wouldn't really. I mean, CC as a game mode, YoshiP likes this mode. Like he talks about it a lot. There's a lot of changes. As far as I know, I didn't play in Feast, but as far as I know, this mode is like being babied out of its mind, right? Like way more than Frontlines, way more than other stuff. So I would imagine it would be at least showcased or an event somewhere in FanFest pretty much almost all the time, because a lot of people watch it too. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the fact that they even host a community cup is at least a good sign, right? Like it's a sign of a pulse. Like they're, or at least being watched, right? They know and then we know that they know this game exists, right? They're actually, well,
Yeah, where's the
investing some
Chocobo
sort of
races at? I
resources.
mean, I guess
Oh, the
those are-
Chocobo Community Cup?
Wait, I'm actually so
dude.
down for that. Holy-
Mahjong Community Cup 2 up next,
Yeah,
man?
when I
Why are
was
there so many
grinding the hat,
C's?
yeah.
Dude. Chocobo Community Cup, that would be C3. And then Crystalline Conflict Community Cup would be C4.
Ooh,
I think that's
putting
good.
Chocobo racing in the spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Triple
Yeah.
triad a little bit. I don't know.
Triple Triad tournament T3.
Good crazy. Honestly, anything at this point.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. I'd like to see a lot more of that, but I mean, there's so many other things that they're doing for other pieces of content in this game. It's a huge theme park of a billion different ways to like approach the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so but back to the Community Cup that you guys were just into. One of the big things, I think, during the prelims, the team that you faced in the prelims was the other team that people thought couldn't possibly win the tournament. But then you guys, then you guys took them out.
That was the biggest me personally, I thought that was one of the biggest tragedies of this tournament. Like, win or lose, it's still gonna suck because you already know that both these teams deserve to at least make into the quarterfinals, semifinals, grand finals. But here they are, round one, win or lose, someone's not gonna make it after like 1 to 2 months of practice, like, bro.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more action there. Where we could see some of these top teams again. If there's a way to like rank teams before the cup even exists, right? And then you could do proper seeding, but you would have to. There's nothing official, at least, for that, right? It would all be just reaching into community cups and everything else, which they could have maybe done, but it's a little less like. I don't know. People leave teams and join teams and bounce around sometimes, right? Huh?
You mentioned that because it's funny you mentioned that because I think we were just talking about one of the community reps a few days ago because they were doing interviews of all the teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I personally brought up a way to alleviate that kind of issue is just make it not single elimination, right? Because I think improper seeding, especially with like communities like this, is kind of inevitable. But you can definitely mitigate the issue a bit, right? And I think anything that's like double elim or more can help because at least it's like a sample size, right? You can get a more accurate I guess reading of the player skill with more samples. And if you're just going off of like one sample, aka a game, right? Then what are you gonna do, right? That's just a coin flip. And just having a double elim gives every single team a chance to prove themselves outside of just getting doinked in the unlucky matchup, right?
No, I agree. I do like double lim a lot, but I also know it doubles the time.
Yeah,
It doubles the resources, doubles the cost for like getting someone paid to sit there and organize and manage all of it for each of the matches and everything else. So I mean, I can't see it a business side. Like I don't know what that looks like on their end. I'm all about double lim though. I'm a huge fan. When I did C3, that was I think a pretty big deal for me to make sure it was double lim as well. Just because, again, you can only do so much prediction of how teams are going to go, and you seed the top team against the lowest team that you think, right? And you just go that way, and then possibly it'll work out at the end. But we'll see. If they do a event for FanFest, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of qualifications that come up before then, and maybe they could have some sort of system that kind of makes sense or fits a double lim or some sort of vetting from community events that they could use to kind of help seed some of these teams. That would really suck for a FanFest event not to have double lim or not to have that next.
I mean, it's great, but that happened in JP. Two of the best teams when I think round 1 or round 2 in prelims.
RIP breakdown.
Right. Now I remember. It was they had two of the best teams had to play for a ticket to the actual event, right? For the free ticket. And so it was so tragic not seeing both of them on stage and like in a super, super competitive environment. So I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on here. It's crazy.
When will they learn?
What's going on?
Yeah. But I don't, Square Enix, please. That's the only thing
I understand. I do understand because you did mention the business aspect, right? And also, the rep that we talked to did mention that it's supposed to be a casual thing. It wasn't supposed to be hard sweaty. It's
Oh yeah,
only sweaty because the community values it as so. But that's only because we love this stuff, right? We love like SE
yeah.
hosted events, right? So to them it may be casual, but to us, man, shoot, that's Christmas, baby. It's like Santa Claus coming. Santa Claus
Yeah.
coming to town. You don't come around every day of the year, right?
It's true. It's true. It's a really big deal, I think, for a lot of the teams to be able to participate in it. And so they're always going to take it more seriously. But yeah, from the Square Enix side, they need to approach it in a more casual aspect until lots of these little things are worked out. And then they say, okay, it's more serious now that we have a lot of the issues ironed out and everyone's kind of on board with how it's going to flow and the rules and everything else. Then that would make more sense to treat it seriously after the casual stuff happens. So my hope is whatever the next one is a little bit more serious in that regard too.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty serious in the last FanFest when they gave the winning team $20,000, right? So
Yo, where's our 22 bones, man?
Yeah,
I'll take 100 bones for
here?
anything, man. Like, what the heck?
Sure.
that was
Second place didn't even get anything. But what we got was I don't know. We got titles, I guess, and then we got some like a mouse pad.
You get a lamp.
We got a lamp too.
nice.
Aetheryte lamp.
Those are pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, still use the mouse pad too that they gave us.
Yeah. I mean, you do. I mean, and like you saw in the event too, like so many players had their CCRC titles on during the whole thing. They probably never take it off, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, I take mine off, but when the occasion calls for it, I'll pull it up, man. That's the sign of the bear right there, bro.
Yeah.
That CCRC 2023 finalist. That's the bear mark.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody on our team, I think, keeps it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Group is the only one that
Yeah.
actually doesn't have it on, honestly. Or that always has it on.
Who has this on? I didn't
Yeah,
notice.
he has this on all the time, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Everyone
Yeah,
else, we're like, yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I jump on those PvP mounts I earned way back whenever I get a chance.
I'm still rocking my stapler mount from season 20 of the Feast.
Oh yeah. It's a good one, dude. It's a good one.
The stapler. Holy.
Yeah, I think I have 2 of the chairs, and I can't remember what the other one is. It's been so long, dude. I'd have to go back and look at all of them, but I have like I think 3 of the top 100 mounts, and it's crazy to think that those mounts exist, and only 600 people in the world have them, right?
600. Whoa.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it was 100 per data center, man, and there was just 6 out there. So
Yep. That's actually crazy. Now that I think about
and all I get is a title.
it. Hey, to be fair, we do get, or unless you're talking about, I was talking about the CCRC, but at least CCRC is kind of like,
Well, those ones are like hyper rare, right? But
those are hyper rare.
I mean, I just have
And the
Final
other
Conflict. That's it. At the very least, for like regional, at least I monopolize Aether. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm. Okay.
So I think I have like 4 or 5 of the rank ones on Aether, and then it went regional. So I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
All right. So right now, I think most people in the community believe you're #1 top team, right? They predicted you guys as the winning team, of course, after your prelim, and that you just knock it out. And then the very end of the event, you guys knocked it out. So you did a really good job. I think it was getting close a couple of times, but nothing too insane. It was pretty locked in for most of the tournament. How do you guys feel about that kind of perception from the community for you? Do you have big egos, or is it just like,
Oh,
I think
Yes,
big is
yes.
unironically an understatement. Understatement
Yes.
of the year. I mean,
there are big, yes, there are big egos.
we got some crazy egos.
Yes.
We try to
Right.
keep them in check, right? We try
Okay.
to keep them in check. It's like, it's just you can only do so much, right? But I think it's good because it does fuel them. At the
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
least, I don't try to curb it too much because I do think it is like a source of power, right? But
Source intimidation?
yeah, it's like the dark side of the force, man, right? It's,
Okay,
I
all
don't know.
right.
I mean,
I could
Sips?
hear my-
okay, that's that was crazy.
That shit
by
might
the
have been burnt. My fault.
That was crazy. That was overheat. But
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, over like, I'd say at the very least, the community would think we have had egos, even if we didn't, right? So like,
Mhm.
it's not too much of a big deal, and that's just the side effect of competitive games.
I mean, you guys aren't assholes though, right?
I've had my moments. Like it is what it is,
I try
right?
not to
Like
be. I try not
I've
to
had
be.
my moments, but
Yeah.
at the very least, it's one of those things where attitudes like that are kind of unavoidable, and it's kind of what we touched upon earlier, where a lot of things in this game are magnified, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what would be normal in FGC, WoW, and other games like that, it's like they're wagging their finger at you,
Yeah, it's like
for opening your mouth for a second. So it is what it is. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at the very least, nowadays, I'd say we're dialing it back like a lot.
I got like a fire analogy, bro.
Do
It's
Oh,
it.
like
let
when
me
you take a leak in
shoot.
the ocean, that stuff gets diluted, right? But
Oh
when you're
yeah.
in a little kiddie pool and you take a leak, you just you take you taste it, bro.
Insane
right.
But
analogy.
that's what CC is, right? That's what the CC is. We're the kiddie pool, and when someone takes a leak, we all taste that, right?
Yeah, and when you're in
If
the
it was like an
ocean,
ocean, like
Yeah.
yeah, right?
yeah, when you're in the ocean, if someone takes a leak, you don't. It's just you just taste
Yeah, it's
salt,
whatever,
which
bro.
is mostly a ton of fish pee and poo. So
Yeah, whales
uh,
take a leak there. We don't taste that, as far as I know,
okay,
right? It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
like we're just a kiddie pool.
What kind of
We're
fucking show
Crazy
is this turning
analogy.
into? I don't know.
Crazy analogy, by the way.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. Did you guys get a chance to actually like watch any of the event or anything when it was going live?
Oh yeah, dude. We were
Yeah,
watching that between games, right? You're talking about the Community Cup, right?
yeah, Community Cup. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
live? Oh, I didn't have
Maybe
that
not
open
live, but
at
did you go
all.
back and watch it or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. After I watched the VOD, I was
Did you guys
just
watch all of
sitting
it?
No, personally,
not
me personally, not all of it.
really. I
Okay.
watched what was restreamed from one of the community people, Faraway James, who recast it on his
Oh,
Twitch. And I was like,
okay.
ooh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was okay. I mean,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't
Good.
know. Because most of my games that I play in tourney are just not really like. I don't really like watching it back because I'm super like I
Mm,
nitpick a lot of what I do and it just annoys me. So I'm just like, whatever.
okay. Well, I just want to know what it seemed like from a viewer standpoint, watching Crystalline Conflict. If you thought things went well or anything else that you would want to have changed as a viewer watching it. I know you guys have kind of a skewed perspective because you're really into Crystalline Conflict, so a lot of people who might watch this might not be as informed in PvP and
Um,
all that stuff, but just your general thoughts about the event and things, whether some things you liked or you didn't like or anything like that.
Yeah, I think without any disrespect to, I guess, the community, like SC community, you can definitely tell that they weren't like from the camera work alone. You could tell they weren't really, I guess, familiar at a high
Mm,
level with the game mode, right? I think that was a big a pain point for the community was just the camera work.
mm,
Uh, like a lot of the ways they kind of even with the way they hosted the PFs, right? It just didn't feel like it was ran by someone who actually has been hosting tournaments like for like the past 2 years, right? It just felt like just some dude pulling up. How do you do this right? You could, yeah, it's
well,
just yeah.
I'd like to give a lot more credit to the person who was doing all that.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
I respect them. Is yeah.
yeah. I mean, there was a lot of work that went into it, for sure. And I think mostly one person was doing most stuff with the event. And so the camera work is always a very a heated topic for
Oh,
a lot of people.
I said it before. It's a community built upon scrutinization, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
dude. Once if they catch you lacking, man, they'll really like get
If
you
they
by the throat.
think they catch you lacking, not
If
just
yes,
if they think, right? And so yeah, I mean that's something that does take some work going into and getting the different point of views and everything. And Crystalline Conflict, I feel is kind of tough to get the camera right in a lot of moments too, because there's just so much crap going on, and especially if people who are commentating are not controlling the camera too, because you'll be talking about stuff and the camera person is focusing on this really crazy thing, but the commentators are focusing on another thing. Then it like kind of has a little mix up in focus for the viewer, I think. But it's just hard.
No, it's I think Overwatch has like this or had like the same issue, right? It's just so much visual clutter. Like you can't really explain in a concise way everything that's going on because there's
Mhm.
just so much going on, right? So like I'm sure you've experienced it too. Like there's times you just have to look at the scoreboard or like the
Mhm.
kill feed to understand what's going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a massive things all happening, and I mean, when it comes to commentary, it's I find it super rough, just in the fact that the other team, they usually die because they don't predict what you're doing, and you have a kill so fast, right? Um, Commentators can't keep up with like those kind of swaps and switches, especially if like people who are really competitive at the game can't keep up with it and then they die too. Yeah, we can make assumptions or guesses and everything else, but it is kind of rough. I know after a while doing it a lot, it gets a little bit easier, but
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the problem with it is the game is a lot more complicated if you kind of like make it, but I think usually most of the people who play LP, right, and the
mhm,
people who get down with it and played for like a year and a half or something like that, like it's not too crazy hard to see certain swaps and stuff. Because like what we've been doing, like let's say you get one shot in the opener, you don't know like
mhm,
what buttons they even press, but like that's
mhm,
like one of the most normal things that happen in the game nowadays, right? You just
mhm.
there's 5 dudes and they'll just one shot one guy. So
Yeah.
it just takes a little bit getting used to and things like that. But I mean, shout out to the one person who had that workload. It's crazy.
Shout
But
out to Seer, man. I already know who
yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out
Shout
Sincere.
out.
That's my goat right there.
Yeah, shout out for that. But like at the same time,
Hmm.
it's like my scrutiny just goes into why is the workload on one person, right? So I give
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what the back end is on that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's
You
like
can
I can't
trust
really
in
have an
some
explanation,
bureaucratic,
but
like some red tape, right? Like their hands were
come on,
tied. Hands were
bro.
tied.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, like, beside like when you guys were talking and giving feedback and everything, what was some of the feedback that you were giving to? I mean, unless if it's private feedback that you don't want to give, that's fine too. But because they were asking you guys a lot of your opinions, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it for me was just talking about like the tourney format, right? I think just
Mm-hmm.
single elim as its own is just so like it feels bad, right? Not that it's bad, but it just feels bad. I think if seeding was if seeding was never an issue, it probably wouldn't suck. But because it is, right? I think it just doesn't work for this community.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's about it for me, man. Like that's
That's
all I
your
care
big. That's
about.
the big feedback you
Because I
had.
just, yeah, no, I just felt bad for like little CCers and like people on that team, like Air, Zeke, bro. Those my boys, and now I just have to like fight them, like, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could have been on the other side of that coin.
Yeah, no, like, literally, like I'm trying to imagine, like, if I was on the other side, like, how would I feel if I spent like 2 months scrimming, 24/7,
Mhm.
just for me to get knocked out on the first round because of improper seating? Like, bro, I
Never
would not
worried,
have.
never
Yeah,
punished.
never worried, never punished.
Mhm. Jay, were you? Was that the same from you too?
Other than like just the general like setup of the tournament and events and stuff. I mean, I was at gunpoint and told like, "Oh yeah, you can just say whatever." So I was like, "Okay," and I just told him to take the game more seriously.
You could
Oh
tell you wanted
wow.
to say more, bro. You could
Yeah,
tell you wanted to
because
say
I
more.
just didn't want to like come off as disrespectful, but like they really,
Yeah.
really were like urging me to just like get everything out like right there. I
No,
was
she
like,
was
"All right,
chilling it,
well."
yeah. No, she was
Yeah,
chilling
so
it,
I was just explaining to them like I as a player that's been playing CC for a while and like watching each iteration of patch notes and
Mhm.
there's absolutely zero connection with Square Enix and its players, at least for CC. Like you don't have any of them reaching out to like the new gen or like any rank 1 players or anybody competitively in streams or anything like that. Um, for advice on anything or for their opinions on anything, and you don't see them really taking the game seriously in a competitive aspect, and it's like painfully blatant in their ranking systems, their like their MMR, their tournaments and things like that. Where uh, I didn't want to say this because it low key felt disrespectful to a lot of the players' times who did take it seriously, but at the same time, the philosophy of the game is like, oh, you don't have to, if you don't like it, then don't play it, right? So it was really hard to
Mhm.
get that point across, but at the very least, it was more so of
So
like
you were
your
pretty
players
harsh.
care. Kinda. No, I just like it was more so of like if your players care a lot, so I think you guys should invest in it too, right? That's more or less the gist of it.
I mean, there's some.
It took me like 10 minutes to make sure I didn't come off as like I didn't want to get canceled by Square. Be like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this fool?
I
Well, look at
mean,
the audacity of this guy.
Look
Who
at
does
this
he think
guy.
he is?
yeah.
Give me his account now. Like, so
Take away his earrings immediately.
yeah, that's more or less just.
Well, I mean, I gotta tell you, like I've talked to a lot of Square Enix staff, a lot of the community team, and everything, and they're all awesome and work their asses off, for sure. So I have been harping it for probably forever, is that they do need like a direct person who's like the competitive Final Fantasy 14 person, the one who works on these modes and interacting with building up like events and stuff, the event person for them, and getting stuff together. And like advising that stuff back to JP, advising that, you know, in their team internally and how they want to run stuff. I think they need a point person for all of that.
Yeah.
And so
And I think that would be fine too, right? Like just anybody to come in contact, like and I'm not demanding anything specific from Square Enix. Right? I'm not saying fix your game or give me like I'm not saying any of that. I just want to know if I'm not speaking to a wall. You know what I mean? Like
no,
I could say all these things, right? Like, oh, maybe you should do this, maybe you should change that. And if somebody comes up to me, like out of their like takes time away from their whatever they're doing, like anybody from back end, because I know a lot of the representatives, hardworking, yes, but like they can't. They also can't just tell back end to hey do this, right? Like
yeah, I mean
like
what they do is they communicate to the rest of the Square Enix development team, right? They communicate these thoughts and everything else, and it's up to the rest of Square Enix to actually make any changes if they want to, or feel like they should, right? From a business sense or whatever else. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know, and then again, I don't even really care that much if they agree or disagree. I just want to hear a yes or a no. You know what I mean? Instead of just silence until it happens. Yeah, silence until it happens is really bad for a community this small. It just like everybody just gets irritated and you know fed up with stuff, and it's not too healthy. But we'll see if the feedback that we gave them goes anywhere. Hopefully, it does.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that they actually were pretty much like, hey, give me any feedback at all, and they tried to do whatever they could to kind of get it out of you. It shows that they're actually trying to find that and build a giant collage of information and get that over to them. So, I mean, we'll see.
Unironically, it's the effort that counts, right? It's
a big part of it.
That counts.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, doing stuff it counts a lot too. But you know,
like, just taking a step forward, right? Like unironically, I think the fact that there even was a community cup is kind of awesome.
Yeah,
definitely grateful for that experience alone.
I mean, they've done a handful of community cups. It always seems to precede or be right after the feast or the FanFest event. So I do think like in a couple 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully, within this month, we hear something about FanFest and some sort of information about it too.
Oh, when do you think that's gonna happen? You think that's gonna be that soon?
I have no fucking clue. But I like to make predictions off of what happened before. And so, what was it? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I actually did a little bit of a calculation for it because I got real curious about when it was actually going to happen. Right here. So not this one. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So back in patch 6.2, that happened in August 23rd, 2022. FanFest was announced in October 7th, 2022. So that's about a month and a half after patch 6.2 dropped. How long ago did patch 7.2 drop?
Like a few weeks ago, right? Like 3-4 weeks ago, I believe.
5 6 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago?
6, actually?
It's been about 5 weeks. 5-6 weeks, yeah. So we're right on the edge of that same timeline.
Well,
so
CCRC was announced like I think a month though, so I guess we can assume that CCRC will happen if FanFest is announced, right?
I mean,
I don't know if you
if they announce
I would expect
FanFest and whenever they announce the events that are happening, they'll say it there.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that decision's already been made, or at least it's been vetted. But I mean, we don't have that. It's not public information that we'll ever know until they actually do announce it. But if there is the next live letter or the next whatever that they're doing, FanFest should be announced. Is my prediction on that. And I think what happened after that? When was FanFest again? It was in the summer following that. So that means if it was announced, let's say this month, we can expect it early next year is when next FanFest should happen, right?
Yeah.
Sounds
Totally.
about right.
Yeah. So I have crazy theories that have some backing to them. They're not just me spouting bullshit, right? So,
True.
yeah.
I personally have no idea what Square's doing, so that's all you.
Well,
I'm an enjoyer.
I like to pretend I do. But okay, yeah, we'll see what actually happens. I mean, and leading up to that, they're gonna have to put some events on and everything else that leads into if they're gonna do a CCRC. You know, the different matches, qualifying matches, and everything else going up to it. So we should see that stuff coming up around the end, second half of the year, if that's the case. Anyways, outside of that, I mean, just talking about Final Fantasy 14 and PvP more in general. You know, you've been competing with it for quite a while. How do you feel it is, at least balance-wise, with the jobs and everything else, in a light party sense?
Party sense.
What do you got, Buzzy?
Oh, dude, I'll be honest, you man. Like, it's been like you because you already know, Jay. Like, we spent so many months even before
mean,
NACC just experimenting with stuff, and I
I know,
honestly don't even feel like we have
exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what this,
it.
how this meta feels. It feels terrible, but
Yeah, like
like
I actually don't have a feel on this, but it does not feel
uh,
pretty good.
the balance feels like, and I think I talked about this with a friend before this, is it's hard to put a finger on it, but it feels like it's the most forgiving it's ever been, but the most punishing in a way, right? So, and kind of
All
what I
right,
mean
mate.
by that is,
Yeah, please.
it's a lot. It's a lot. The ceiling is kind of non-existent, and it's not because the game is now like free for everybody and anybody can, like, you still have to put a lot of effort. You still have to make sure your shots are like concise and whatever. But I it's hard to pinpoint what Square Enix wants from doing their buffs and reworks and things like that. Because as of right now, it's like everything really tanky is probably going to win. Whereas, at least personally, where I come from, a lot of the comps that I played, a lot of the teams that I've been on, were very like, I gaze in your direction and you will fall over, right? But that's not the case anymore now, which is again more forgiving for those who couldn't deal with that or couldn't handle it, right? It's what made a lot of our team strong and a lot of other teams strong, was that, like, poof, you're gone, like, from existence type bursts. And with the rise of tanks and melees and curbing of agency, and by agency it's like your ability to carry on your own or with a smaller number of people aside from 5, with that being curbed, it opens a lot of doors, like too many doors, if that makes sense. So it's forgiving for people who already have established a way to compete competitively, where it's like, and it's all the reason why we're having trouble with these new teams, right? Is, we walk up, we're like, all right, let's send this guy like in 2 seconds, and we send our burst, and he doesn't take any damage, and then we're like, uh-oh, right? And then we get kind of like slammed on, and they're kind of, just things like that. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly what Square Enix wants from this meta. Do they want to make it easier for players to guard? Do they want to make it so the hit registration makes the game more fair for players who don't have a low ping, right? I couldn't tell you. And the gameplay itself, I'm not too sure. Like, for me, it feels really bad, no direction. But for other players who weren't looking for the burst to begin with, or weren't really coordinating in that aspect, or they could even like I've gotten my ass handed to me by teams that are just playing for fun and like screaming in their comms, right? Like, you know what I mean. So I'm
Right.
not too sure what to do or what the game wants to point me in what direction.
Yeah.
But if once I figure that out, I'm sure the game will be better. But we've been screaming for 2 months and we still haven't figured it out. So I was like,
So you
come
don't
on,
have
bro.
like a solution right now. You just have like this
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense to me, and we all do well
Or
with this, so we're gonna
yeah,
keep
no,
going
like
at it.
probably
Yeah.
for me, I think this game feels very intuitive, but honestly, I feel like it's leaning towards a bit too intuitive aspect, right? It's rewarding more intuition than actual. I don't want to say thinking, but you know what I mean when I say. I guess like
Knowledge
more.
and
Preparation,
skill and
right?
Yeah, like
experience.
knowledge,
Yeah.
like I guess more concrete ways of playing the game than just like feel, right? I
Okay.
think feel has been like, at least that's how I describe it.
We're
It's just
old, bro. We're old.
we're
You
old. We
guys
might
just
actually be
complain
old.
because
We're
you're
cute.
old?
Nah, I
Okay.
don't
Our
know.
little
I
kitty
wouldn't know.
senses can't really catch up
Um,
anymore, man. Like,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just TLDR. I just want to one shot people, and I can't do that anymore. So I'm mad.
It doesn't sound like a really good excuse for your dismay of the balance in the game, but I'll take it. You know, I feel like
Yeah,
not having an answer for meta is actually kind of exciting in a way, where people are
yeah,
still building on it and working towards it, and it's not solved. Not having just a straight solution to it, and people can try different things and play around with it, because there are so many different ways to form a team, right?
yeah.
Oh, definitely, man.
I
Did you
think
see our
I.
comps that we ran, bro? We ran like
Oh yeah.
two very different comps in that tournament, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those costs were sick.
I didn't see
But
any all healer comps or anything crazy like that.
Oh, brother.
Come,
First ever all healer
there
meta.
was before, in previous events.
Oh, yo, shout out Bogyards, man. The boys right there.
Yeah.
Shout out
oh,
Zeke.
boy.
Shout out Zeke.
Oh, geez, that was so much fun. I wanted to see like an all tank or all healer or all something, right?
Oh, we were close. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw the art comp, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
tank
yeah.
comp.
Very
Yeah,
tanky comp.
we're a step towards the right direction.
What do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about Paladin cover?
Uh,
As a monk
like
player, as two monk players.
as two monk players, let me see. Stroking my beard.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I think Paladin cover is fun, especially the way they do it now. For solo queue, it'll always be broken, right?
Mhm.
It's because there's no coordination in solo queue, so you can't deal with the Paladin like how you can in OP.
Mhm.
If the game is more casual based centered, I think Paladin is a problem. But
Okay.
the way they curbed it, reducing guard timers,
Oh yeah, dude. 4-second guard.
reducing or increasing the cooldown of cover, I think is what they did, maybe, or was it only the guard? Either way,
I don't know, but I think the guard was definitely good.
yeah. Paladin took a hit in LP, so it's not like it's not you bring one and you insta win the game anymore. But
Mhm.
I'd say because of how they balance the game, and this all goes back to my point earlier, where in my opinion, I feel like the philosophy of the game has shifted from play kind of really, really disciplined, really good spots and positionings and things like that, to pray you live the burst, and if you live the burst, you can win. And Paladin can do that for some jobs, right? Paladin still brunts that as long, and even now, even without a Paladin, you still can barely one shot somebody, right? So imagine if they
Mhm.
had a Paladin, and that's a lot of why people bring Paladin. Loki, just like
Yeah. I mean,
you
just
might as well
cover
just
a
bring it because
potion. You're done.
it's just
Right?
broken. And even then, like even how we play, we don't even use pot. We just cover, and we
Oh,
just run
really?
in there, right? Yeah. Restarts are pretty rare when it comes with us, but
Mhm.
or I guess we'd press cover on the monk media, right? So that the monk doesn't get killed during its go, or
Mhm.
things of that nature.
The
But
monk
even
limit
then, like
break. Yeah.
yeah, even then, I was just like sometimes you're like, bro, I just need a cover just so I can pot, right? Like the game's changed now. Like it's not as aggressive as it used to be. It's more like chaotic and everybody's ripping buttons and a little bit like PvE. I'm not saying
Bit more
I don't know if
brawly, I want to
yeah,
say.
I
Definitely
don't
leaning
know if
towards
it's
the
a
brawly aspect.
yeah, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. I just know that I don't like it.
Mhm.
Um and I mean we can adjust, I think, for the
Oh
most
yeah.
part, which is good. I'm really happy that our team was able to adjust to coming off of just one sinking somebody, so that's nice. But
Mhm.
overall, I think Paladin is not a pain,
Mm.
but it is still
Annoying.
like,
It's still
yeah,
there. You still
my
feel it. You can
eyebrows
feel it.
eyebrows will
Yeah.
raise when I see some of the plays that they do. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the? And it just doesn't feel very
I mean,
good.
like,
But
it does take a lot of work to not die as a paladin when you're playing with this
Yeah.
stuff, right? So it's not like
100%.
super easy. It looks easy, right? I guess,
Yeah.
but the execution
I
is definitely is a.
Yeah, dude. John Dark
Yeah.
Souls makes that look easy. Shout out
I
to
think,
Goat.
yeah, I think it's really important for jobs like that. With if you put in a lot of time, you get a lot out of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I played Monk. That's why I played. That's why I'm getting into Ninja now.
What are you talking
and
about?
things
Monk
like
just
that.
uses LB. There's
Yeah,
nothing
true,
else.
true.
Yeah, Jay. What are you
True.
talking about? That's an LB bot right there.
Hey,
What skill expression, man?
my hands are up. My
Get
hands
out
are
of
up.
here.
But like I said, like jobs like that, Paladin, where you get a lot of reward,
Yeah.
it forces players to think outside the box. It forces players to play differently and think about the game differently. I think that's way more healthy than let's say they just gut it and just have Paladin just hold up a shield and run at somebody. Like competitively, that just does not sound fun. So
Okay,
there's some
okay.
negatives and positives to having something kind of stupid in the game, but hopefully
Kind
they
of stupid.
it is a little bit. Look at palette cover is a little bit stupid. Like
Let's be honest, it does
I
not
don't
feel
think it was
good to
intended.
it does not feel good to send a bunch of your resources and all it takes is one cover and now it's
You
just
just
like
gotta
never sent
bait
a
it.
first.
That's all you gotta do. Bait it
Oh,
out.
you
What
just
do
gotta
you?
bait it.
Hey,
Just that easy,
a
man.
lot of people just don't be thinking about that though.
Just
That's
open bait.
that's the beauty of cover, right? It causes you to play the game differently, but you're
Uh-huh.
still frowning, right? It is what it is. It
You're
is what it
still
is.
frowning.
What do you guys think about Samurai after you see the play in the turn? You guys saw that, I'm assuming, right?
Oh,
Oh,
Sylvie's play?
Sylvie Chains versus Eidolon?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I think
Uh,
I'll be honest, you don't really see those kind of plays often, and for good
Oh.
reason, right? Because if anything like that ever happens, it usually means the enemy team fucked up like real bad, right?
yeah,
Because
tournament
most of the
nerves, I
time,
think.
yeah, like tournament nerves, there's high pressure, like yeah, it's just like anytime. I think in an ideal world, nobody ever hits Samurai cheating, right? It's because it's a job that's a bit too reactive,
Or he
and
does.
it doesn't have enough individual agency
Mhm.
Shadow Warrior.
as an LB like Monk LB, right?
Mhm.
But other than that, that was a sick ass play, though. It was
It
a
was
sick ass play.
pretty.
The
No,
fact that
it
Sylvie
was
was able to capitalize off that, I think, was sick alone.
It
So
was.
yeah,
It was amazing to see, dude. I capped my mic. It was pretty bad.
it was pretty. It was that was sick. Yeah, yeah. It was
I mean,
three-man
yeah,
wombo combo. Like,
you really don't get that
Yeah.
like ever, especially on like in a Square Enix tournament, pretty much. So that's just like that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I'm glad it happened. I want to see those moments. Those kind of moments like make that it advertises PvP.
Yeah.
I
the
feel like
highlight reels, man. That brings in the money. Those pay the bills right there.
yeah. So I think 100% like there should be more things like that can happen, more like moments, right? Instead of just like a kill and
Like
back and forth.
flashy
I
stuff,
mean,
right? Yeah,
you're kind of spitting with that because I mean that's what made, at least for me, that's what made old Overwatch, because I played in the beta. That's what made old Overwatch so much fun, where like everybody had that bullshit ultimate and it just looked really cool and everybody had their moment and stuff like
Like
that.
pulling them
But
down a hole or something, like
oh
chain
yeah,
people
like
down holes. Yeah.
everybody has something cool. Like you can just go, oh, you know what I
Give
mean?
Samurai a Genji blade that just empowers all of its GCs to like 20k per hit. Oh baby,
Yo,
let's
give
go.
us voice lines too.
Give us
Like,
voice lines too, man.
like,
Maybe-
just give us voice lines.
What if they have what's a stupid thing? Not stupid, sorry. The mechanic in a lot of fights where you have to press the button really quick or really hard.
Oh, the
What's it called?
action, like the time maneuver.
Yeah, time
whatever it's
maneuver.
called.
Yeah,
They could do that with like give an ability to one of the players, I don't know, you buff all of them and they all have to hit the button at the same time.
Are you telling me they can mash out of my media? That's crazy.
Well, baby, I don't know.
Oh, imagine they could just parry your medio if they see that medio coming. They just got
Hey,
hit
that would be
at
sick.
the right
No, that
frame,
would
bro.
be sick.
Yo.
If he can like mash out of grabs and stuff.
Shout out
that'd be-
Rengoku versus Akaza, man. You feel me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
I
one.
don't think
Yeah,
we
that
get
goes
that.
crazy. No, I got
That's
that. I
pretty
got you.
Oh, you got that? Yeah,
That's
Jay got that.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. That's like my favorite fight, bro.
Oh hell yeah, bro! Save it. I was
You
about to
kidding me?
rewatch it. Anyways,
Definitely not because he's a monk, but like, let's be for real.
yeah.
That was badass. Yeah.
No, he kind of worked his shit. No disrespect to Rengoku, but Akaza kind of worked his shit.
I have no clue what you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
My fault.
I'll leave it. I'll back off. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some more stuff that they could do to add those moments to the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with it.
I think like the only LB that kind of mimics that is maybe a dancer LB. I think when you see a big dancer LB, that's pretty flashy in of itself.
I mean,
Like,
Dragoon's
it's really cool.
pretty good if someone could sneak it in.
Yeah,
But,
no,
I mean, it's
if they win,
hard.
right? Like Dragoon into
Dragoon's a good
Reaper LB is pretty sick. Like just good combos like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Reaper LB stuff's pretty cool too. When you're knocking people. Wait, is that the right one? Are you getting everybody off the point? Yeah. And so I mean, like, there's a lot of really kind of neat things you can do with LBs. But some of them feel a little bit more under the radar when they happen. Like you just don't really notice them. But we can announce and say, all right, this LB's going out. Now they have a chance to do a lot of attacking, or they're gonna stay alive, or whatever else, right?
Right.
Or I mean, White Mage LB can be pretty cool too.
Good cleave. Hell yeah, dude.
But you have to see the damage happen, or like when you can stun people into AoEs or tile flips or things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think White Mage. I think the issue with I guess CC is like with those flashy plays, it's got to be coordinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can hit a big fat 5 mage White Mage will be, but if nothing happens, it's kind of just like, all right, well, he just sent damage out of nowhere. But if your teammates are following up on it and it actually gets a kill, it kind of like, I guess, enhances the value of that White Mage LB itself, right? The fact that people are able to get kills off it just makes it so much more cooler than it just being like a random damage deal sent for, I don't know, some reason, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about just your preferences in CC in general. What did you have a particular map that you guys always want to play on?
Lystra.
Lystra?
Buzzy wants to play Lystra.
I love the Lystra.
Yo, I love that map so much.
It's so boring, dude.
No, dude, it's so clean. As competitive players, we don't really like the
mechanics.
aspect, right?
The mechanics.
Yeah, it's just we don't like that random aspect that can just like right. We like that clean old classic CC, bro. Polystar, that shit's chess.
Yeah, I know it's very straightforward.
It's Valorant.
Very even, tournament based, makes sense. But there's just something about someone being thrown into the air and then they're gonna die when they hit the ground, or
in the minis, actually, I know what you're talking about. You saw that one 6-man mini play on Clocktown?
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's definitely
my hands are up. My hands are up.
Those are fun to watch, though, man. Those are like things that are like a lot of fun as a spectator, is to see the environments like just screw with the players, right? Then it becomes a lot more exciting. And being able to work it or abuse it. And there were a lot of stuff, especially in Clockwork Castletown, where I just assume most of these mechanics, the players are just so used to dealing with them, it doesn't affect them. But they get caught so many times by the robots. It was pretty funny.
Look the other way, Jay. Look the other way.
Look, it is what it is. I'm a looker, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
no, I think mechanics like that definitely make it a lot more spectator friendly, right? Because it's just like boom. It's like Baron or something in League. But the difference is Baron, you can actually kind of tell when it's happening. Whereas in CC or like those other maps, you're kind of just like, all right, I pray it does not happen in this exact moment. Otherwise, I am fucked, right?
Bro, could you imagine Baron and CC? That would
Dude, that would be so sick, man.
All right, tell me Baron. Tell me what Baron is.
Yeah, no, legit.
Pretty much just like an NPC monster that spawns somewhere on the map. You kill it, you get a bunch of buffs. And kind of like how
Rival Wings.
Rival Wings, or like VH, right? Volcanic Heart, where orbs drop after volcanoes. Like imagine instead of having to collect orbs, you had to kill something in the middle, like a lava elemental or something. And when you kill it, your entire team gets buffs or something. Like that's that's classic. Fighting around that and stuff would be fun.
Classic. What do you call it? Dota like League stuff.
Yeah,
things
MOBA
like
stuff. Yeah. Like
MOBA.
it would be cool. I think
that'd be cool. And
something you can definitely add things that are more dynamic. That doesn't like if a team's winning and they won because they're better, and then they just get like a tornado dropped on them randomly, and there's no way to predict when
They
or
weren't good
where that
enough.
tornado's coming from. Then they get slapped out. I guess they're just not good enough.
They're
I
not
don't
good
know.
enough, dude.
That seems so tragic to me.
I
It's so
think for
sad.
me,
A single tier, even.
yeah.
What
It's not
mechanic?
the events themselves, but it's like the randomness, really. Kind of like.
Which of these mechanics or events or whatever else is actually you don't have a solution, or you can't think out, or you can't predict, or anything else? It's just so random that it's just something bad's going to happen to you. You can't avoid it.
I think VH, C9, and Red Sands.
Really?
Yeah, bro, sometimes even
Yes.
oh, dude, Red Sands Heat Wave when you don't need it, but the enemy team needs it, or even just when you get the rainbow
Oh, it's
cactus,
just
like bro.
yeah, the randomized events after the you know, after you touch a checkpoint, you know,
Yeah.
it could either be the cactus, the
Mhm.
Lunatender shield, or the Lisanaga Eve worm. Like,
Oh, the Shai Hulud? Yo,
yeah,
shout out Shai
Hulud.
Hulud.
the Shahai Lid. Like, you really can have your game ruined by that. Like, it's really bad, and you cannot tell what it's gonna. It's just random, right? It's completely random. So,
But you just get out of it, right? You just avoid it.
well, that's the
But
thing, right?
sometimes, bro,
Let's say you're
sometimes,
Yeah, let's say you're losing, and you're like, all right, well, they just touched our checkpoint. Now we just respawned, and now you're about to, you know, I don't want them to break the checkpoint. I don't want them to get any more advantage, and then they get a 20k shield, and you're just like, I'll just fall over now, I guess. And then heat wave happens, and you're like, right? Like it's just so annoying. At
All
the
right.
least. And then for VH, it's you can't really predict the bomb lines; they're just random. And then for C9, you can't predict the tornado paths; that's also random.
yeah. I think the worst is when you need to be on point, especially towards the end of the game, but the events are happening that would make that a lot harder. Like bomb is right exactly on the point, and there's 5 seconds left on point, or 5 seconds left on the timer, but you don't have guard. Like, bro, what are you even doing that? Right? It's
Just get out.
stuff like that.
Yeah. It's most definitely like at the highest. Like if you're just like on some faker, like you can outplay it. Like there is ways to do it, but like a lot of the games that I've played, and I played a lot of games where things like that happened. I think most events, like let's say I'm playing solo queue and that happens, I'm just in there like, oh, I guess I just win now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and 9 times out of 10, I just win. Or, you know,
Okay.
a lot of the events are just, all right, guys, I guess we just lose. Or instead of, all right, guys, how are we going to play around this? And it's a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when it happens like on stage or in tourney or something really weird happens, and you're just like, God, like that's unlucky. Whereas for Lystra, hey, that doesn't happen. You lose because
Now,
either
Lystra, my
you lose,
goat!
yeah, you lose because you
Let's go.
misplay, or you win because you just play better.
I mean, would
like,
you guys
your
be up?
fate isn't entirely in your hands. I like that a lot.
Would you be up for like them introducing a way to like when you go into a match, unflag mechanics from activating?
Oh, you can do that already. Yeah,
That exists. Yeah.
People just don't use it because
Ever since when I first started playing this game, and it was like CC and stuff, and I was doing LP, I was looking at Wolves League and stuff. I saw that you could uncheck medkits and the events, and I was like, oh, that's probably gonna be the tournament standard. It wasn't. So for some reason, it wasn't, and it was just mind blowing to me that it wasn't.
Do they do that in communities cups and stuff like the?
I haven't played a tournament where that's checked off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the norm now. I would love to play every map without events. It would feel weird, but it would be a twist, a pretty good twist. But
okay, it'd be a little bit more boring to watch as a spectator, like I said, but I get the reasoning for it. What they should do is just make it more insane, and that would inspire people to turn it off for events.
Oh, shoot, true.
We're already gone this far. Just keep going.
Just keep going. Make it crazier, dude. Throw a hurricane in there. Throw whatever else.
I would actually like to, like, I wouldn't mind the events as much if it forced us to fight, not really like not fighting both teams. I just want to like an objective to fight around. Like,
well, it's like
something in the like a big ass like wolf chest or whatever like they had in Feast, and you just fight around that. Like, I would love that.
It's legit just the random aspect that's so annoying, man. Like, you just can't control it. Like, if you could actually trigger the sandworm, the Shai Hulud, or like heat wave from actually completing an objective that you're working towards, I think that's a good solution to that, because you're still getting the spectacle of those events, right? It's just now you're not getting the annoying aspect of how random it is and how what the unfortunate timing of it might
like
be.
the tile flips.
Yeah, like actually those are pretty controlled. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
those are
that's
sexy,
why
but you can control it. so it's not.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel bad for the players.
that's why I didn't really mention Clocktown, because a lot of that is like you can predict a lot of it. It's very telegraphed.
Mhm.
You see the robots coming. You see the
Mhm.
tiles about to flip. I like that aspect of it. But when you're like running into the middle of an arena and then a worm comes out, and like tickles your feet, you're like, bruh, like yeah,
So
I really
you're
wanted like a shield now or something else, but
Playstra and Castle or Clockwork Castle Town are your two maps. Then those are the ones that you feel like are okay.
I'd say competitively, yeah, I
Okay.
prefer
Yeah,
those
sure.
over the other ones.
Okay. What's the next map you want to see for CC?
Do I want to see? Do I?
Next
Yeah.
Do
map,
you want to see
I
a next map?
You guys don't want to see a
Um,
next
Yeah,
map?
man.
You're
That's
done?
it.
low key. I mean, if we're going down this route and they're not going to change, we might as well just embrace. I want to see some verticality. I want to see bridges
Okay.
going up. I want to see people. I want to see machinists, marksman spiting me from like a tower really far up or something, or
You want people to be knocked off the edge?
oh yeah, like
Golfed?
just
Yeah.
bigger, just like even have the crystal like path up a bridge or something, and then have like an under the bridge and over the bridge where you can like dip below line of sight or something cool like that. Interactive map stuff changing. Let's say you break a crystal
Mm-hmm.
and then walls start erupting out of nowhere and it changes the arena a little bit or something after you break a checkpoint or something. Like something cool like that would be
Activation
Like
mechanics.
Marvel Rivals, how you can just like break the terrain, man.
yeah, you can kind of adjust the terrain or like
Yeah.
levers, switches. I don't know, anything really. Something. I
Okay.
mean, you could still control it as a player, but something along those lines would be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Okay. What about ice sliding?
That could be. Yeah, sure. I mean,
If it locks out your character, like if I'm slipping, like I'm like making a play and then I slip on ice, I'd be like, oh man, that would suck. But
I mean, I think locking out is the right answer to it, but I do understand that feeling bad not to have control of your
Yeah.
character.
or just I don't know. I wouldn't say map, but I really like. See, I'm not a frontlines player, but Buzzy, what's that? What's the map with the ice looking? Well, I forgot.
oh,
What it's called.
Shatter.
Shatter.
Shatter,
I think,
really?
yeah,
Shatter
I think having ice objectives or something spawning and then us killing
Okay.
it for something, I think that's peak.
Yeah, just something you can control, right? It's like that's like Shatter is just mini barons that just
Yeah.
don't bite back, really. Or
Okay.
jump mobs. I don't know. I don't even play League. But I'm making League now.
It would be cool to have something like that, I think, or something more similar to Frontlines. Like I would have a slightly bigger map for like an 8v8. That would be so sick. I would love that.
8v8. Don't
Yeah,
remind me.
8v8 big map. Is that like the fold or something? Is that what it was? Or
It wasn't. I forget.
or was
if it
that like
called
old
Feast.
feast?
I mean, it was Old Feast. There was the 8v8 mode and the 4v4 mode, and 8v8 was full of a lot of people who were just kind of like botting or just like it was chaos. It was insanity. Or people who were just trying to like get EXP really fast or farm it.
I mean, nothing's changed now.
But everybody loved it. Everyone loved it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Right. I think it would be cool. Like maybe a little bit. We'll see what they do for the next map if they even have a next map.
Do you think? Do you think 5 players is the right call?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, it's just competitively, right? If I'm saying it from like a high end, we'll deal with it, and we'll, it's normal for us, and it's fine. We make comps and like, what have you, but 5 people with double the buttons and all unique LBs, 10 people on the map, and the map is this small. It's too much for like you. I can imagine me coming in and I'm super new at the game. And I'm getting like flamed left and right because I have no idea what's going on because the game is not accessible and I have to memorize like 10 LBs. Like,
Oh,
brother,
dude, that was
no
me in
thanks.
5, man. That's how I felt.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's too
So
much
you think
uniqueness.
4 is the right number, or maybe should go down to 3? Like, what are you thinking?
I would love 3v3s because of WoW Arena, but 4 is fine. I think.
Okay.
Lucky, just
We
a
did
tank, 2
3v3s that one,
DPS,
right?
and healer. Yeah, the 3v3s that night were fun. But
Wait, no, I think 4 probably sounds good because it's just like there's a formula there. You can easily roll lock it as well, but maybe that's not even the answer
I mean,
right there, right?
to anybody coming into PvP, right? Obviously the roles are a little bit more dynamic now, where you can run 4 healers, right, if you really wanted to. But a lot of the players who are PvEing in this game and play a lot, on their own, they come to the game mode, they see 4 slots. Okay, well, one's a tank, one's a healer, 2 are DPS. and that's a comp, right? That's a really good comp to run. So
I mean, in all
Yeah.
honesty, like if it was 3 versus 3 and they did a light party queue, that would pop a lot more than it would if they did light party
Oh,
2
yeah.
right now at 5.
Definitely
Right?
easier to get 3 people
Oh,
to
we'd be
5 for
playing so
sure.
much. Holy.
Yeah. That stuff would pop a
It's-
lot, I think.
Getting 6
Or
people would screw-
duos. I mean, I think duos would be weird and awkward. I think 3 might be the
Oh
magic
hell
number.
no, definitely not duos,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude,
What?
duos would be too broken.
Yeah. I mean, they could do. Never mind. I was gonna say duo into 4s, right? 2 duos per team, but then that would be all wonky still too. But
30-minute queues, I fear.
yeah, the three might be the sweet number like you're talking about. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll have some massive changes in the next expansion or something. Of course, there's nothing in this expansion with massive changes outside of maybe a new map. That might be about it. But I feel like Crystalline Conflict's pretty solidified, at least for the rest of this expansion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like
Feels
we're
like it.
adapters, bro. Like I lived through like 3 versions of PvP. Jay has also lived through like a lot, right? It's just like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we'll adapt. It's not the end of the world if we don't get what we want. Like we'll just work with what we got, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You just enjoy the community, and that's why you're still in it, or like, why do you guys keep playing Final Fantasy XIV PvP? What draws you into it?
Dude.
Oh boy.
I say this a lot, but I unironically probably would have quit PvP and XIV way back in my first season if it was not for Light Party. Like Light Party is unironically the only reason why I play PvP. Like I do, if I play this purely for solo queue, oh hell no, bro, I'm out this game. I don't even play solo queue now, man. Like shoot, I put in like a handful of games each season. I'm just like I cannot do this. It's just the game does not feel good as solo queue.
No, I get it.
And yeah.
I get it. Jay, I mean, like, what makes you enjoy playing Final Fantasy PvP?
I'm just a competitive person.
Okay.
Like, the leaderboard is there. Monk feels good to me. Most of the time, at the very least. And being competitive in this game, especially for LP or solo queue, like I was okay with it. Like I know before Donstro, a lot of what I played was pretty much primarily solo queue and Endwalker. Just like pushing R1s, leaderboard stuff. Just like challenging content when it comes with player versus player interaction stuff. I do the same thing in like StarCraft, WoW, and other games.
I mean,
and stuff.
why are you playing Final Fantasy XIV PvP instead of like another PvP game or another thing?
Oh,
right? Like,
well, this one's like really easy to like into, right? Like another PvP games, right? You talk about WoW.
Anything.
You know, I have to gear, I have to stat, you know, you have to grind up, you have to do PvE to do PvP sometimes. In this game, I just hit level 30 and I queue up, right? I love that about this game. It's so accessible, it's crazy.
Yeah. I think a big part of the community, for me at least, is I like it because it's like a microcosm of what you'd experience in other games, right? Like if I played like I don't know, like Valorant, I'm probably like what, like top 5% at best. But because it's CC and because it's so small, I can actually, you know, I can feel the effects of actual competitiveness without having to be like the best in the world, right? I just have to be the best in the playground type of thing. And that's kind of fun, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of fun, just like
Best of the
be able
playground.
to actually see that kind of effect of my
Yeah.
grinding
Yeah.
come into a play, right? And how it like affects the overall community, like in
So it being a smaller community in general is kind of what brings you in.
yeah, no, definitely. It just feels more connected. I feel like I actually have an impact both as a player and well, not only as a player, yeah.
So if it became like really big and like super popular, you'd be like, I'm out.
It depends, right? Like, because I do
Well, I
like
mean,
Final Fantasy
we're
PvP as
we're
well.
already
for the
this
Light
far ahead.
Party.
You're already
Like,
invested.
if you ask me this like now, probably not. But if you ask me like right as I started playing, yeah, like I probably would have just like, yeah, it's
Too much.
too much noise. Yeah.
Got it. I got it.
But even then, like Jay said, I think I'm also just a competitive person, right? So I would have also just stuck around for the competitive. Because I also played Overwatch Open League, and I wasn't even that good at that. But you know, because I could do that, it was fun.
I mean, I played a lot of Deadlock recently, and that's like my biggest like PvP.
Shoot.
Dude, I love Deadlock, but like a lot of my friends stopped playing it, and it gets old after a while if your friends aren't playing with you, dude.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of games, to be honest.
Yeah. It just gets into that whole point where you just jump in there and then they're like, why didn't you play perfectly? And they just yell at you for doing a bubble the wrong way or something like that, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I do feel like the community aspect is one of the reasons why I ever got involved with the PvP community. It was such a big thing for me back in the day too. Rest in peace to Feast Discord that I put together so long ago. But like I don't know. I feel again I do think there's still there's always been room to grow Final Fantasy 14 PvP. I'm just waiting for the gaze of Square Enix where they're just like looking at it and they're like,
Oh,
okay.
please, sir, just a crumb. I'll
Just-
ask for the crumb.
Yeah. Because it is a lot of fun when you get into it and you start getting into the community aspect. The community does a really great job making it enjoyable and jumping into Discords and talking to people while you're doing queues or talking to people while you're doing events and stuff like that. Doing community, competitions. It's fun to have that kind of aspects of the game that I don't know if a lot of other big PvP type games have that kind of close-knit community. Like you would go do a whole bunch of just lower tier community, like, hey, let's just do this for fun, and everybody gets some gil or whatever in-game money for it. A lot of them are like you participate in them because they give pretty big rewards, right?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not
Oh, yeah,
very
like
many
I like this
locals
video
or
because I
stuff.
feel like I actually have an impact as a player. Like I can actually see and feel the impacts of my actions, for
Mhm.
better or worse, man. Shoot, right?
Felt that.
It's kind of nice that I can actually communicate with pretty much everybody in community. Really, 'cause it's
Yeah.
not too big where there's a blind face or an unknown face. Like
Mhm.
nobody is an ant. Like we're all like in this.
Mhm. Okay. I did want to ask this question. I forgot about it when we were talking about the whale topic earlier. Would you prefer the pacing of how, and I don't know, maybe you haven't paid attention to WoW PvP in a long time, but WoW PvP used to be very slow, right? Where you kind of just like
Mhm.
chip away at people's health and you just slowly chip away and you can kind of see them die. And as soon as one of the players dies, it's over, right? Would you
Yeah.
prefer like the action or the pace of killing somebody be a little bit more drawn out than just everyone just clicks on this dude and kills him real quick? Would you rather see that be kind of a slow burn?
I think it depends on how it's executed because I think that's pretty much what's going on right now, especially with how brawly the game is. But it just doesn't feel right for one reason or another. If they can like make it a lot more, I don't know, what's a good word?
I mean, the netcode, right? It's
Yeah,
limiting. Like you
fucking
can't.
3 ticks a second. Get out of here.
I gotta keep it a buck. I would love
3 ticks
this
a
game to
second.
be fast. I'd love for my buttons to go off when I press them, but again, we kind of adapted otherwise. I think the pacing now for WoW is really good,
Mm,
but like it's like how you said it. It's slow, but kind of in a different way. Right now, the buttons are fast, the reactions are fast, the things you need to do, like it's plentiful. You have infinite buttons,
mm,
but your buttons have a little bit less meaning than like media drive, pretty much, right? So
mm.
it's like, you know, each player has their own 2 minute cooldowns. 2 minutes, right?
Right.
Meaning the game is going to go on way longer than 15 minutes. Ideally, if you want to make it a game like that, you have to change it like from its core. The net code, you know, or you want to have items like you want to have your gear do something. Do you want to have flat stats? Like it's so much in depth for what I don't think Square Enix is ever going to put their resources into. So for what we have now, I
Mhm.
think this is fine. They just need to like kind of step it up a little bit. Maybe get some
Right.
feedback from the players on their gameplay, not necessarily their events, and then go forward with that. Like, fuck, I'd even give us a PBE. Let us play test something, right? I can guarantee you that if you put all the high end LP players, low end, any end players, PvPs in like a beta environment, and they tested Monk, and all of them pressed media drive, they'd say no. I guarantee you, everybody would say no. There'd be one guy who thought it would be cool, which is me, and then I'd still say no, right? Like, it's
Okay.
just I'd rather that and hone down on this kind of play style because I think this is fine for at least what the game offers. So
I mean, the playtest is like the off season, right? Or like I don't know.
We
no.
got an off season, dude.
The play test is patch day.
The
Right.
playtest is patch day, bro.
Yeah, it's patch day. We going. Oh, this sucks. All right,
The
we'll see you in
playtest
2 months.
are the nodes you see on the forums and stuff,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
So
Yeah. I
The
mean,
who made
guys,
Monk LB 60 seconds type shit.
ooh,
we've already been here for like an hour and a half. Whether you believe
no,
it or not.
no shot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about, and I thought with just the three of us, it would like go by really fast. We'd run out of shit to talk about pretty quick. But it's been pretty good. You know, kind of just chatting up about PvP and you know everything that's going on in the state of things. You know, I don't get as many interviews with Yoshi as I used to, but
Fair enough.
you know, I always try to throw
busy.
some PvP questions in there when I get a chance.
For sure.
You know, I'd like to see some improvement on Light Party. I'd like to see something else going on. But I know I have zero control over what all that is, right? And there's I have a lot less insight than Square Enix does to what they want to do with the game. But I'm always out there trying to support as much as I can with the state of PvP and make things a little bit better.
Sure, I appreciate that too. By the way, like anybody who has like any contacts at all, like taking even a little bit of time out of their day to like, hey, this mode could use this, right? I love that. I appreciate that.
I ask a PvP question every time I get a chance, like at least one, right? Something.
Someone's gotta do it, man. Shoot.
And so I do hope that the biggest issue is like those will go like in email interviews and everything else. When you're like you see Yoshida in person, you may have like an opportunity to talk to him, but every time I do, I'm a stumbling idiot because it's just like I feel
That's OTP, man.
it's tough, man. It's tough to talk to him because there's always a translator involved too. So you're excited, you just want to say a whole bunch of stuff, but then you're like, okay, well shit, I gotta reel back so the translator can do something, and Yoshi can actually hear it. And so I don't know. It always catches me off guard when those things happen. But hopefully I get another chance, and if I do, I'll be pushing a lot of your thoughts in that direction too.
For sure, appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I did appreciate that.
Yeah. But is there anything else you guys wanted to go over PvP wise while we're here? Anything that you want to talk about, whether it's just community or if it's Square Enix or if it's just, I don't know, your favorite movie recently, whatever.
Oh,
off
Minecraft
top.
movie was actually kind of lit.
Minecraft movie?
Yeah, dude.
Bro, I watched like the pre-production version. Like they still had the green screens.
Oh,
So
did you?
Discord. Oh yeah, that was terrible, but it's still funny.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
As well, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it got like leaked somewhere or something, and they were like, "Oh yeah, watch this Minecraft movie." I was like, "Oh, dude, bet I watch it. It's like legit, like green screens and shit." I'm like, "Bro,
That's pretty bad.
be for real."
Be for real.
Dude, there's
Yeah,
actually a
but-
lot of good like TV out there right now too. What's going on? Like the Andor
Every
stuff. The Black Mirror came out with a new season. There's the rehearsal stuff. I don't know if you guys ever heard of any of this stuff or know what I'm talking about, but
I've heard of Andor.
yeah. Andor.
Severance is a big one for me though. If you've been watching that, I think season 2 just released.
Oh, Severance, you said?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I finished that immediately. That was
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
right. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show, dude. I didn't think like the guy who I imagined was in fart comedies for so long would be such a good director, right? Ben Stiller. That's so weird, dude. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to say that. When's the next MogTalk tournament? We need tournaments. We're craving.
Are you
bro.
kidding
understand?
me?
We're
Like you guys have a
craving.
billion tournaments out there.
No, dude, we need one from Frosty Mogboard, the Big M, bro, the Big M.
The Big M. Dude,
Yeah.
I could do an event. You know, I have had like a ton of thoughts about how to do it, right? And I have the understanding of the organization, how you would get someone to control camera, how you'd get a couple people to control parties, how you do double limb, right? And you have a good stacked commentator list and everything. And it would take probably more than one day. It'd probably be like a 2-day event. Well, probably more than that too. Well, it depends on how many teams, right? You got to look at how many teams there are and how long you want like the event in general to go on, and people need to sleep and rest. There's a couple of aspects to it. But yeah, there's a lot, and I would just have to find some sponsors for it too again. Because I do think that's pretty cool to at least if I have the connections or ability to do that, like bring in some. I don't want to always give people headsets and mice every single time or keyboards, all right? But
Give me
something.
minions and shit. Fuck it.
Minions give.
Yeah, I just want to play the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Just report.
At this point,
I mean, there
I
was
mean, a lot of my team just logs in to like do a tournament and
just
logs
logs
off.
off. Really?
So like
I
we,
mean,
we
One
don't
time we
mind
just
playing
did
the
like
game
a single
without.
tournament off of like nothing for a month.
Oh,
None of us took the
dude.
game for a month, and we just
No scripts, nothing.
no
We just
script,
logged
not
on,
even
played a tournament,
joking.
I mean,
packed it up.
I'm not 100% aware of all the community stuff that's going on too. I mean, is anyone hosting league type stuff where you're doing league
No.
matches? No.
No
Wait, there was rivals tournament. No,
rivals.
yeah, the rivals or whatever.
Oh no, I think it's talking about the league
Marvel Rivals?
format.
You're like a
Oh,
league
the league
format,
format.
like
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
like
I
you
thought
guys
were-
you fight other teams and you go up on a leader.
I've been
or
I
whatever.
was advocating for that shit for so long,
That'd be
man.
sick. I think
Yeah.
Gitson tried to do that, didn't he?
I think he might be doing it. Oh, actually, he might. Yeah, Frosty. If you don't know, Gitson Brand is someone who's actually been
Oh, I
doing
know.
this in tournaments.
I've
He's
learned a
been-
lot.
Yeah, he's been carrying a lot of the weight in the community, in my opinion, as far as tournaments go. And I think he might be doing a league this summer.
It
Don't
takes
quote
a
me on
lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get that going on. And basically, you just have to do. I think the best way to fit for the type of community we have is not to leave it completely free and open. Just have like scheduled matches between all of the different teams that want to be involved, and do that instead of one team facing one team multiple times and just popping up on a leaderboard or something. There's got to be a couple different ways that you have to make it fit the size of the Final Fantasy XIV community. But I think that would do wonders if there was an organized league somewhere. That's something I really wanted to put together, but it takes a lot of time and commitment to it. To do it. Shit, maybe I'll talk to
easier.
Gitson.
Yeah, dude, talk to Gitson.
And we'll figure something out.
Boy.
Because I think that it is a really good idea, and it would do wonders for at least the light party seeing the team play, is to have something that you can actively keep doing, right? And not just a tournament when someone has the ability to throw something together. Just an active format of playing when you want to do competitive stuff every weekend or something. I don't know. We'll see. Any other thoughts? Anything else you guys want to hit up before we sign off today?
Off rip. I think that's all I got at the very least.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I really like this talk today, man. It felt pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Talk.
I love
It
it
didn't even feel like it was 2 hours or an hour and a half, like you said. I actually thought it's been 30 minutes until you brought it up.
It's just how the show goes too. It's just like there's not like a huge structure. It's more of just like a conversation, trying to learn a little bit more and having like a real discussion, and not really anything that's like hard coded. I need this. I need to ask you this, and you need to say it like this or anything like. I just want to fucking talk. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, Frosty got Riz. Let's go.
I hope so. I hope
Like that.
I can use that for my own benefit one day. But instead, I just talk to people on the internet about a niche video game.
Shit, bro, you got me charmed.
Oh, okay. All right,
So
pussy.
short, yeah, dude.
Fuzzy. All right. All right. Well, cool, dude. Like, this has been really fun. I try to get a PvP show in when it makes sense to do it too. I mean, if you go back and look at all the Mog Talks we've done with PvP back in the day, all the way back to, the Joe Never Fails days. I don't know if you guys were back. You guys weren't doing PvP back then.
I probably wasn't. I was not born yet. Yeah.
You probably weren't born yet.
Not born yet.
Sorry, I'm old as fuck. But yeah, no, I like to get them in because it's a lot of fun to talk about. And if anyone comes on, all I need is for them to be semi-passionate about what we're talking about, and it's a good conversation every time. And you guys are absolutely passionate, so this was a lot of fun.
If there's a bigger word for passion, man, dude, that's us. Like, passion is probably an understatement. Yeah.
Passionate Nation is what you're going to be called next, or
Passion
Nation? That sounds a little like it belongs on a different website.
What did I even say earlier, man? That's the foundation of the Dubstep Nation. I don't even know what it was about. But
I don't know. Stupidity? I forget what it is.
Yeah, dude, stupidity is
yeah.
the foundation of the Dubstep Nation. What's up?
I don't know if that's right or not, but I remember saying something like that.
know, it's heat, otherwise it's heat.
Heat?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's spinning.
Okay.
He is spin.
Okay.
We're just throwing out random words, bro. Sorry.
That's all right. Keep it. Nah, it's fine. We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up. But this was a lot of fun, and I do want to see a lot more with the PvP scene, and what we can do to make it better and improve upon it. And I know a lot of that does lay on the community. Final Fantasy 14 community carries a lot in a lot of different things, not just the PvP scene, but just all over the place. They make a lot of stuff happen. So huge shout outs to everybody. And especially for this episode, shout outs to PvP community, though, for all the work you guys done. Because without that, then we wouldn't even have teams, right? There would not be organized teams without the community doing these tournaments and getting people together to actually compete. So thanks for all that. But yeah, so before we get off, I do want you guys, if you want people to... Usually I give people a chance to say where they can find you, but I don't even know if you guys do any streaming or want people to find you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Twitch.tv/everymillionxo. Thank you.
You mean Buzzy Wuzzy Ooh?
Yeah.
Twitter dot. I don't know. I actually don't even use Twitter. Yeah.
X.
Is that-
Blue Sky.
X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, I just stream for fun, whatever I kind of feel like it, but nothing too fancy. But like I tell other people, if anybody wants a VOD review or help with team stuff, my resources are open. You just DM me, and then if I don't respond, spam me, and I will respond at some point, and then I'll help you out at some point.
Such a nice guy, man.
I try to be.
That's the Pookie right there.
I try to be.
All right. Is there any shout outs you guys want to do before signing off?
Yo.
Yeah?
Oh.
Do you have the list, Buzzy?
I got a list, man.
You got the list?
I'm gonna run through this list, yeah.
Yeah, run through it real quick.
Shout out Hannah Mizu, shout out SJ Shark, shout out Gitson Brand, shout out Pepsi Cola, shout out Kanye, shout out Zika Woza, shout out Malid, shout out Ton, shout out JD, shout out Air, shout out Miyu Moon, shout out Satsuna, shout out Next Cross, shout out Joe G, shout out Raul You're Here, shout out Tomodachi, shout out Lil C Sears, shout out Eidolon, shout out Chillin' Time, shout out I don't know GDT. I probably missed some, but yeah. Shout
Wait,
out
was that off top? There's no way.
off top, yeah, dude, off the top, man. I had
There's
that shit.
All right. Huge.
Shit. Okay, is that it? That's your shout outs? You don't have anyone else?
That's probably.
Oh, shout out to Seer. All right, there we go.
Oh yeah, shout out to Seer.
Yeah, if anyone's watching this and your name wasn't mentioned, you're not important.
Oh, true.
Go, muffle.
You hit that.
Oh,
we need to triple that list fast.
All right. Oh my god, I got added.
Oh. All right. Well, look, send me all the links to your social stuff so I can put it in the YouTube video too when I upload it. Just to make sure I can point people in your direction. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming on and just chatting it up with me. I'm looking forward to hopefully having more PvP stuff come down the line too. And you know, I don't know when the next MogTalk's going to be. At the moment, we're about once a month kind of rate. So likely another one next month. But we might kick that back up if things kind of calm down a little bit in the life aspect outside of Final Fantasy, but we'll see. But yeah, and I guess huge shout outs to Jet in the background, who's been doing a lot of stuff. The MogTalk intern in a way that helps with a lot of graphics and everything. Because I haven't had as much time to do a lot of that stuff, but I just get on. Hey, he has all the assets ready for me. I throw them on the stream, and then I get going and doing what I like, which is just talking and bullshitting around. So thanks very much, Jet, for all that stuff. But
Jet.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't be able to do shows without somebody doing that right now. So huge. All right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I had a lot of fun. Buzzy, you're amazing. Jay, you're amazing. You guys have been super chill. Absolutely fucking chill. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, tell the rest of your team to fuck off, though, for not coming on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Look at you,
They probably were just busy now.
It's all right. No offense. It was a joke for those people who don't get it. It was a joke.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
It was a joke. But anyways, you guys say bye when I say bye, all right? Everybody, we'll see you later next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.